So, there it is. It is confirmed. Stranger Things is returning to the fog in January 2026. This is massive. We are talking about the potential for the Stranger Things version of Vecna, maybe Eddie, maybe a rework of Hawkins that makes it, enjoyable. The hype train has officially left the station, but as much as I want to sit here and scream about the upside down, we have to talk about the right side up. We have to talk about the reality of playing DBD right now. Because while the future looks bright for January, the last few days have been an absolute roller coaster of disaster for this community. We have an update that fractured the player base, communication that was practically non-existent, and gameplay changes that might have just ruined the looping meta. If you're on Xbox or PC, you probably know why I'm so annoyed. So let's break it down from the exciting Stranger Things news to one of the most annoying weeks in DBD history. But the good news, as we've already mentioned, Stranger Things coming back January 2026. This announcement is huge for a few reasons. Obviously, the license left the game once before, came back, and now it looks like we are getting a full-blown Part 2. The speculation is already running wild. The community has been begging for Vecna as a killer for years. His power set fits perfectly into the entity's realm, and on the survivor side, if we don't get Eddie or Robin, I think the riots will definitely start all over again. This is definitely a win Behaviour needed right now. It builds long-term excitement, it keeps people invested, and it shows their relationship with Netflix is stronger than ever. But you have to admit, the timing of this announcement is rather interesting. It drops right in the middle of one of the messiest patch launches we have seen in a long time. It almost feels like a distraction. Hey, don't look at the broken update, look at the shiny Demogorgon. Because unfortunately, we can't play the January 2026 update today. We have to play this one that released this week. And this one, as you know, has been a mess. The mid-chapter update finally released last night on Xbox, but that means for 2 full days, an entire third of the community was left completely in the dark. Tuesday rolled around as normal, Steam players got the download, PlayStation players got the download, and even Switch players, who are notoriously the ones left behind, got the download. By the way, Switch players, I now sympathise with you. But as for the Xbox players, they sat there refreshing their games and app screen and got nothing. And during that time, they watched their favourite streamers play the new content, they watched their friends on other platforms play, they were effectively locked out of the conversation, and all they got was a tweet when the update launched. And this brings me to the core issue, because it's not just the delay, because things can happen like that are out of the devs' control. We are gamers, we understand that tech is complicated, but the problem is the silence. How many times have we heard the developers preach about openness and transparency? They write entire blog posts about how they want to improve communication with us. Yet think about it logically. You do not fail certification 5 minutes before a patch goes live. They likely knew this update was in trouble on the Saturday or at the latest the Sunday. So why didn't they say anything? Why did they let Xbox players clear their schedules, take time off work and get hyped, only to pull the rug out from under their feet at the last second? That isn't transparency, that's cowardice. It's irresponsible management of your community's time, and to make matters worse, it fractures the player base. DBD is a cross-play game. If you have a 4-man Swift and one person is on Xbox, you couldn't play together for 2 days. You were punished because of your platform choice, and that is unacceptable. And if you're thinking, well, it was only 2 days, it's a fair point, but we didn't know it was only 2 days because we were never given an ETA. And as for PC, I don't want to leave them out here. They were facing outages for hours and they couldn't play the game. Steam users were hit with the widespread outages almost immediately. Login errors, connection timeouts, disconnects. It just paints a picture of instability. It feels like every time we take one step forward with a cool announcement like Stranger Things, the technical foundation of the game drags us 2 steps back. The infrastructure feels wobbly, and that is a scary thing for a game that is supposed to be a live service. But now that we've all got the update and things seem somewhat smoother, let's talk about it itself. And let's start with the big one, the pallet problem. For months, there was a discussion that pallet density was too high on some maps, and it was a fair critique. But Behaviour, in their classic style, doesn't know how to do subtle. They don't do minor tweaks, they do sledgehammers. They have gone from one extreme to the other, because just look, the pallet spawns have been nuked. We are seeing massive dead zones. You run to a jungle gym, empty. You run to a filler loop, empty. You are running through acres of nothingness. And the funniest part is, there are just rogue pallets spawning in the middle of nowhere now. This is dangerous for the game. When you create dead zones this large, you remove the skill expression and you remove the mind games. It feels like there is no middle ground with this team. It's either Pallet City or Open Field Simulator, and right now, Map RNG is swinging so hard that it is practically deciding the outcome of the match before a single generator pops. It feels unfair and it feels bad to play. But hey, let's try to find a silver lining here. We had the delay on Xbox, we had the issues with PC. That means they had extra time, right? And usually when a developer takes extra time, it's to ensure quality, to polish the product. So logically speaking, for those of you loading in today, this should be a smooth, more stable and bug-free experience on Dead by Daylight. There is absolutely no way that after all of this drama, the game is actually broken. Yeah, of course there's new bugs. When isn't there new bugs with DBD? But there we are. We have the hype of Stranger Things 2026 on the horizon, which is genuinely exciting, but we have to survive the current state of the game to get there. To the Xbox players, I'm glad you can finally play, but I'm sorry you have to deal with these dead zones. To Behaviour, thanks for Stranger Things, but please learn what transparency actually means. But now guys, I want to hear from you. Are you excited for Stranger Things 2? And more importantly, how are your matches going today? Are you finding any pallets, or are they as extinct as the dinosaurs? Let me know in the comments. Thanks as always for watching, like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.